Hi everyone, welcome to the job market review of 2021. My name is Sandra Bichl. I'm representing Career Angels today, and I'll walk you through what the data shows us in terms of job market. Is unemployment up or down? What about demand for candidates? So let's have a look at our data. At the beginning of the pandemic, so at the end of March 2020, once we knew that the pandemic wasn't going to be a temporary thing, but probably something more of a permanent phenomenon, we decided to track certain KPIs of the job market. One of them I've already mentioned, it's unemployment. We look at the number of candidates per job ads. We look at the number of available job opportunities for professionals that are published on LinkedIn. We compared those data points with other similar reports that take into consideration more platforms, job portals. And so far, we have gathered over 6,000 data points. We have spoken with over 400 C-level executives and HR directors and executive search consultants. We have been tracking over 80 countries worldwide for more than 22 months. So that's quite a bit of an effort that we've put into understanding how the job market works and why is it important. Because as you can imagine, we are regularly asked as a career consulting boutique, we are regularly asked, is it a good moment to be looking for a job? Shall I apply? Shall I change my job? Will it be stable? Is it safe? How long will my job search take? And in order to be able to answer all these questions, we need data. So if you want to have a look at all the different reports we have published in the past, you can check out SlideShare. You can also go on to our website, careerangels.eu/market signals. They're one of the, I wanted to say, better reports, or one that I particularly like is the one that you see here as the first one, which is the number of LinkedIn job ads compared to unemployment rates across Europe. And we have launched a dedicated showcase page on LinkedIn called Market Signals, where we post daily updates on the job market worldwide. Now, I have already started talking about how understanding job market data can be relevant for the candidates. It helps in estimating job search times. It's helpful in estimating how much effort needs to be put into a job search, how much flexibility there is for negotiating salaries, if it's a good time to be changing or not. On the other hand, we of course have the employer side and understanding your particular country in terms of demand, supply and demand of candidates. That can then be translated into, again, salaries, benefit packages. How much do you have to offer to be an attractive employer? You can estimate whether the post and pray approach might work, or you actually have to engage, for example, a recruitment firm and go for direct search. So understanding the supply and demand is important to be able to formulate better strategies and make better and more cost-effective decisions. As you might know, we are streaming today on 3 platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. If at any point you have a question or would like to comment, please feel free to do so. To kick this off, I'll ask a couple of questions and I'll share the answer at the very end of today's live session. So what do you think? Which European country is the winner of 2022 in terms of unemployment? So which country has improved unemployment the most? What do you think? Has unemployment in Europe decreased over the last year? Which European region is the winner of 2021 in terms of demand for candidates? Then what do you think? Have there been more executive candidates per job ad in September than in November 2021? So are more candidates applying? Which European country is the loser of 2022-21 in terms of demand for candidates? So which country is currently hiring the least, at least according to data from LinkedIn? And how many European countries have noted a decrease in unemployment levels since October 2020? So let's have a look. Overall, when we look at the last couple of months, November, December, now the beginning of January, from a global perspective, where we separate three major regions, Africa, the Americas, and Europe, you can see that Africa has seen an increase overall in the demand for candidates. Europe, overall, a slight increase, and Americas is, I want to say, all over the place. I mean, plus minus, it sees an increase, but it has been quite a ride looking at the demand side for candidates of the last bit more than 2 months. So let's look at Africa specifically. Here we track the 10 biggest economies. Africa in 2021 has seen a decrease in demand for candidates of 74.10%. There was one big dip on May 31st. So in that week, there was a major dip that didn't follow a certain trend. And then since week 29, it's been, I want to say, not quite good, but stable. But from a year's perspective, a decrease of 74.1%. So the job market has shrunk by 74.1% for candidates that are recruited through LinkedIn. When we look specifically at the winners, there are, though, countries that have seen an increase in demand over 2021. So candidates in Egypt had more than an additional 114.74% of job ads to choose from, Tanzania plus 56%, Angola plus 9.38%. On the other hand, Kenya's job market has shrunk by 84.02% within 2021, which is very substantial. South Africa minus 80.75% and Ghana minus 15.83%. So two major economies, minus 84 and minus 80, almost 81%. Now let's have a look at the Americas. And the Americas, we divide them into three regions: North America, Central America, and South America. So overall, the Americas, you will see that the result is plus 26.04%. So at the beginning, we had 6 million job ads, and by the end of 2021, there were almost 7 million. So good news overall for the Americas region. There was one statistical outlier from April 19 to May 10 of 2021. Now, country specific, Honduras, candidates in Honduras could choose from an increase of 153.46% of more job ads, Paraguay plus 118, and Cuba plus 107.14%. On the other hand, where half the job market shrunk the most, Domrep minus 74%, Colombia minus 64.99%, Venezuela minus 57.96%. So very, very big impact on job markets in 2021 in these countries. Now, moving on to the top 20 global economies, as ranked by GDP per capita. Here we look at 20 countries, and here the source is the International Monetary Fund, United Nations Population Division 2021. So comparing week 1 2021 to week 1 2022, more than half of the top 20 global economies have seen an increase in demand for candidates, with Turkey taking the lead with an increase of 94%, followed by Indonesia, Italy plus 70%, Netherlands plus 43%, Australia plus 31%. So all of these are very good news. United States plus 30.77%, where demand hasn't caught up yet. Spain minus 16%, Mexico minus 30.92%, France minus 37%, South Korea minus 44.56%, Russia has seen a decrease in the number of published job ads of minus 60%, Switzerland minus 63.15%. Now, overall, the winner of 2021 is Turkey, that I've already mentioned, plus 94%. And the worst result goes to Switzerland, where the biggest decrease happened just before or at the beginning of summer 2021. Since July 19, the demand for candidates has remained stably low, and overall Switzerland finishes up the year 2021 with losing almost 2/3 of their job market for experienced managers and executives that are usually hired through LinkedIn. Then let's have a look at the United States. I mentioned before that there was a statistical outlier that was April 19 to May 10, but overall in the United States, we've seen an increase in demand for candidates of plus 30.77%. Now let's have a look at the data from Europe. Here we track 38 countries across Europe, and we then divide them into 9 different regions: Southeastern Europe, Western Europe, Northern Europe, Visegrad countries, Southern Europe, Baltics, Benelux, the DACH region, and Iberia. And here, similarly that was Switzerland, since July 19, the demand for candidates has been stably low. So there, as you can see, first half year, an increase in demand for candidates, and then at the beginning of the summer, it drops. And since July 19, the demand has been stably low. Overall, candidates in Europe have seen a decrease in available job ads of 7.9%. The biggest increases, though, go to Bosnia and Herzegovina, plus 249.59%, Latvia, plus 233.18%, Northern Macedonia, plus 229.59%. On the other hand, the biggest decreases in demand for candidates, Ukraine, almost minus 90%, Switzerland, minus 63%, Czechia, minus 47.35%. So opportunities, for example, for Czech candidates have almost halved. Now let's have a look at what happened same time last year, looking at November, December, and the beginning of January. As you can see here, the first pandemic year from a candidate's perspective was better than the second pandemic year. So from a candidate's perspective, the second pandemic year was definitely more difficult than 2020. Now, let's have a look at the winners of 2021 in terms of region. The best result goes to the Baltic states. They've seen an increase of, stable increase over the entire 2021 of 209.61%. Same time last year, so the Baltic region have, almost quadrupled over 2021, end of 2021 as compared to the end of 2020. Bosnia and Herzegovina over 2021 have seen an increase of 249.59%. Same time last year, again, 2021 is definitely better than 2020. So globally in Europe, candidates had a more difficult year in 2020 than in 2000. Had a more difficult year in 2021 than in 2021, with the exception of a couple of countries where there is increased demand for candidates. Then the losing region of 2021 is Western Europe since July 19. Overall, stably low demand, and globally for Western Europe, minus 38.36% in demand for candidates in Western Europe. So definitely wasn't easy being a candidate looking for a job in Western Europe in 2021. And when we compare that with same time last year, again, 2021 was more difficult for candidates than 2020. Now, again, Ukraine had overall a much better first half for candidates, and since July 19, it is a very difficult place to be in as a candidate. So minus 89.53%. So just to put a number also to it, Ukraine has gone from 155,000 job ads to 16,000. Same time last year, 2021 was much more difficult in Ukraine than 2020. And now let's have a look at Germany, a key economy in Europe. Germany has seen an overall increase of almost 30%. So again, the first half year was really good for candidates, and then the summer started, and since July 19, lower demand, but stably increasing. So when we look at 2021 overall, we ended on a positive note. Same time last year, now you can see that that's good news, 2021 is actually starting better off than 2020. So that is a light at the end of the tunnel for candidates in Germany. Now, again, as I've mentioned, we are streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them in the comment section. If you're actively looking for a job, I do recommend you join the Hidden Job Market group on LinkedIn, where we post selected job ad gems for experienced managers and executives on a weekly basis with special editions, including remote opportunities or dedicated reports from our partners, ShareHire, or the ATS element. Okay. I have mentioned the remote edition for executives already. Then it's probably worth mentioning that we will have a webinar soon on January 18, so next week at 5 p.m. talking about executive identity, how to position yourself as a candidate on the job market in English. It is in collaboration with the Business School of the Warsaw University of Technology. Everybody can register, so you don't need to be an alumni or active student of that business school. Now I see one question that one question that I'll highlight here. Rickard Larsson from Decision Dynamics, thank you very much for asking that question. What happened in Europe, including Switzerland, in July 19, 2021, with such a dramatic drop to then stable lows in August, December 2021? We've tried to answer that question, and we have a suspicion of what happened. It is most probably a combination of several things. One, we hope that it's true that the recruitment efforts of the first half year were satisfied, and simply big part of the companies simply managed to hire whoever they wanted to hire before the summer, and that is one part of the drop. Number two, it probably has to do with further lockdowns, restrictions in some of the countries. One influence is also anything that governments, especially in Austria, Germany, and Switzerland, took in terms of Kurzarbeit, short time arrangements where employers continue receiving government subsidies, but that also means that they are not allowed to hire or fire anybody as long as they receive the subsidies. So that maintains a certain stability for employees, but it puts the overall market in I would call it a dangerous limbo, because it doesn't reflect what actually would be happening on the market in terms of supply and demand. So a lot of Swiss companies are not able to hire and fire anybody because they're receiving subsidies. Same with a lot of Austrian and German companies. So I hope that answers your question. And for anybody listening who's not familiar with decision dynamics and Rickert, I do recommend checking out Rickert's profile and their website. They're doing a lot of very, very important work around research on career management and why people make certain decisions in their life that affect their career short-term, medium, and long-term. Okay, let's continue. So when we look at the change in the number of LinkedIn job ads across Europe, overall in 2021 for 24 countries, the decrease for candidates is up. In 14 countries, the demand for candidates is down. Now, when we look at unemployment rates, and here the data for unemployment is not shared live, which means we compare October 2020 data with October 2021 data. We hope that by our next live session, we'll have unemployment data for the full fourth quarter of 2021. Unemployment is up in Belgium, Romania, Poland, and Sweden. Good news in the remaining 26 countries that do share the most recent data on Eurostat, unemployment is down. And for example, Greece has been able to decrease their unemployment levels from 16.2 to 12.9%. Other KPIs, when we look at the number of senior candidates per job ad, you can see that also over the course of 2021, we went from almost 90 candidates per job ad to now in November, 10.1 candidates per job ad on average, which also tells us post and pray might not work. A more proactive recruitment approach is definitely warranted. So overall, depending on where you are based, if you are in a country with more job ads and less unemployment, good news for you. You need definitely less effort in your job search, and the job search time will be shorter. If you're in a country where there are less job ads but same or higher unemployment rates, you will most probably need 2 to 3 times more effort and longer job search times, which in some cases, looking also at our clients, can take up to 12 months. Now, irrespective of the market, what has definitely changed over the last 2 years, especially with COVID-19 accelerating the use of technology, right now, we do recommend everybody to have 2 CVs, one for the human target group and one when applying to job ads through applicant tracking systems. And here also very interesting, 60 to 70% of job ads targeted at executives also go through softwares. You'll have to use all 4 job hunting channels: headhunters, job ads, direct approach, and networking, and make sure you have consistent personal branding. If you are proactively looking for a job, feel free to request a free CV report or a career consultation with Career Angels. And before I show you the answers to my questions at the very beginning, feel free to post your questions in the meantime in the comment section. So let's have a look. Let's wrap this up. Which European region is the winner of 2021 in terms of demand for candidates? As we've seen, that's actually the wrong answer. If you paid attention, the winner of that was actually which European region is the winner of 2021? It was actually the Baltic region. Apologies for that. Has unemployment in Europe decreased over the last year? The answer is yes, so good news. Which country is the loser of 2021? Here we said definitely was Ukraine, losing almost 90% of available job opportunities. Have there been more executive candidates per job ad in September than in November? Yes, so right now we've gone from, when looking back, so from February, almost 90 candidates per job ads to in November 10, and September was a bit more than in November. Which European country is the winner of 2021 in terms of unemployment? If you remember, that was Greece. How many European countries out of 30 have noted a decrease in unemployment levels? Almost all of them, excluding Poland, Sweden, and 2 more that I don't remember on top of my head. If you are actively looking for a job, I also recommend you check out our course on Udemy called Every Step of the Job Search Explained, backed by research. We also have an active YouTube channel, one in English, one in Polish, if you want to follow our content. And if you'd like to thank us for what we do, you can buy us a virtual coffee or follow our content and subscribe to our pages. What specifically is most valuable to us, we've put that together under how to thank us on our website. Now, if there are no more questions publicly, thank you very much for joining today. If you want to ask your questions privately, as you know, feel free to reach out. Thank you very much for joining, and I wish everyone a much, much, much better 2022 than 2021. Thank you very much and have a good day.